Welcome to Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, the big, butch, manly pop culture podcast that bought you a new toy rocket launcher for Christmas. I'm Shane Hollon.
And I'm Andrew Wheeler, and it's just what I wanted.
I know. I saw your list. I checked it twice.
It does vibrate, right?
Yeah. Sit on that thing. Today, we're talking about the British spy action thriller Black Doves. It was created by Joe Barton, and it stars Keira Knightley, Ben Whishaw, and Sarah Lancashire. The first season dropped in December of 2024, and I hear that a second season is coming, or at least that's what Netflix tells me. Helen Webb, an agent for a spy-for-hire agency, gets caught up in a deadly web of conspiracy. Hitman Sam Young is assigned as her protection, but he has problems of his own to contend with, to say the least. Andrew, what did you think about this show the first time that we watched it?
I had a great time. It was a sort of unexpected gem of the holiday season last year. I know Joe Barton, he has done some shows that I really enjoyed before, though he's been a bit of a one-season wonder. So he did Giri Haji for Netflix with the beautiful Will Sharp as a rent boy with a blonde Caesar crop. Just
Sounds horrible.
so sexy. And it's and that's a show about London and Tokyo and sort of crisscrossing gangsters. He also did The Bastard Son and the Devil Himself, which was a really fun show about literally the devil's son and the people who are trying to sort of help him get away from his dad. And that lasted only one season, but was beautifully queer. Had a hot Frenchman in it, Emilie Venkmans. So yeah, he tends to put hot boys and queer stuff in his shows, even though he has a wife and kids. Of course, you can still be queer and have a wife and kids. We only speculate to celebrate.
Of course.
And he also did
Ally.
the time travel show, The Lazarus Project, with Papa Essiedu, who crops up in this one as well. So, yeah, he's done a lot of shows that I really like, but this might be the one that's like most up my street. What about you, Shane? What was your first feelings?
I also really enjoyed this show the first time I watched it, and I really enjoyed it the second time I watched it this year. It's quirky, it's sometimes a little hard to follow, and it can feel a little all over the place, but the two leads, Ben Whishaw, Keira Knightley, absolutely stellar, so watchable, doing some really fun things, and I love that a good half of this show is about a queer assassin who gets to be queer and who doesn't have to sacrifice, who doesn't have to whose lover doesn't get murdered.
Yes. There will be spoilers. I guess that one's a benign one. But yeah, it is great for how queer inclusive it is. And like when this came out a year ago, it felt sort of unprecedented. But we are living in rapidly evolving times, it feels like. Like the number of shows with actual queer protagonists is on the rise.
No, I have not watched Heated Rivalry yet. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Shane. Shane's mad at that show because he has the same name as one of the lead characters, almost. So he's resenting it.
They stole my identity.
I get it,
They
Shane.
stole my life. It's really not fair. I will watch it, and I will love it.
He is a mixed race Canadian, so it's not that bad.
I know. And it's my name. It's really confusing, and I'm a little upset about it because where's my hot Russian hockey player? When is it going to be
where's
Shane
my hot Russian
Holland's turn?
hockey? Before you break into your big number,
my monologue.
Holland's turn. So yeah, this show appeals a lot to us because it's very Bond, but very queer, and of course has a Bond actor in it, in Ben Whishaw. And one of the things that I find really appealing about it, and I really enjoyed rewatching it because it was definitely clearer to follow in the rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
It does balance like Le Carré intrigue with broccoli style pastiche, as in Cubby and Barbara broccoli, not the vegetable. Like it really sits comfortably between those worlds. And also, to quote Matt Rogers, It's Christmas, which is why
It's
we're covering
Christmas,
it
baby.
now. So, yeah, it's a very Christmas show. Great to watch at Christmas time. And I assume the second season, which they're filming now, will also be set at Christmas because otherwise, why would you film it in December? They must be planning to, like, I don't know, blow up Oxford Street or something.
I mean, that would be fun. And also, yeah,
Especially if you ever shop there.
I love that this is a Christmas story. I love that this takes place in about what, 3 days, 1 week's time. It's very hard to tell, but it is truly the events leading up to Christmas and ends
Yeah.
on Christmas in a glorious way. And it's like filled with bloody battles and explosions and espionage, capital E. Couldn't be happier about any of that.
And in the spirit of Christmas, I am eating panettone and drinking mulled wine, although the mulled wine is neither mulled nor wine. It was mulled when I made it, but it's alcohol-free, delicious juice.
It was very tasty. You did a good job. I wish I had a cup with me.
Thank you. There's more in the fridge. Go get yourself some.
Okay, let's talk about the women of Black Doves. And there are a number of them, and I feel like they're all really fantastic. Sarah Lancashire as Reed, though, I just want to say off the bat, Judi Dench ran so that all of these supreme spy ladies of today
Yeah.
could lounge and make clove oranges and wrap Christmas presents.
Yeah, we've had Fiona Shaw in Killing Eve. We've had Kristen Scott Thomas in Slow Horses. We have now Sarah Lancashire here in Black Doves. There's probably a few more that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head, but it's so like every one of them is an incredible character actor giving this stage villain role that also feels very real and calculated and brilliant. Like, I think it's the gay kid inside of me that loved Disney villains that now loves evil MI5 heads or spy agency heads as a gay adult. You know, there's a very strong connective tissue there.
Yeah, absolutely. And she is a mustache twirling villain in her own right. I particularly admire how she just pops up all over the place. And I like that she just kind of stands around with her back to the people that she's talking to at all times. It's very stately. It really gives a sense of power.
Yeah, yeah. And usually in a show like this, you would be like, well, she's great, and we got Keira Knightley being great. But this is a show where it's like we are spoiled for choice with great female characters. Those are the two that are in the sort of the lead credits. But yeah, there's a lot more to get to. But I don't wish to skip over Keira Knightley as Helen, the co-lead of the show, and sort of a Long Kiss Goodnight-esque character, except that she
Hmm.
didn't lose her memory. She's a spy who has been placed within a political marriage so that she can spy on the government as her husband rises in power and influence. And what's really interesting about this show and weird, and that I still am not entirely sold on 100%, is that it's an independent intelligence agency, which means, I mean, basically Blackwater mercenary sort of group. But I feel like operating at that level where they can place someone like Helen inside the government, basically, that close to the cabinet, that stretches my credulity a little bit. Or maybe it did last year and less so this year when we find out just how useless everyone is in the intelligence world. So I guess it's real.
I mean, maybe that's the most real thing about this. I will say the character of Helen Webb, she's smart, she's sharp, she's funny, she is an action heroine, and she's a little impish. It is the perfect role for Keira Knightley. It is just such a shame that Helen marries a conservative. Like, we're supposed to be rooting for her. It's hard to root for someone who's working for evil on both sides.
Right. Yes. I mean, is it her fault? I guess it sort of is. Well, no, actually, no. She's placed in that
Mm,
marriage and she's not on his side per se. I mean, she's on the side of her kids more than anything.
fair.
And Andrew
Like a
Buchan,
good
I mean, I
mother.
don't want to skip ahead, but I do love Andrew Buchan. So I would also have married him, maybe at the cost of my soul.
Yeah, look, I've made some terrible choices when it came to past relationships, so I get it. Sorry, Helen. You know what? I'll give you some credit where credit is due. Sometimes a pretty face is a pretty face. How does she hide all of those bruises so effectively? Like, she is thrown around multiple times in the span of like 3 or 4 days, and she goes to bed with like her alabaster skin, wearing just like a slip of a nightie. It's great makeup when she's getting into bed with her husband that he can't even notice.
Honestly, or maybe she just like waits till he's asleep every time. Like they look like they don't cross over very much in their day-to-day lives. But
Yeah.
if I were her, I would have like pretended that I had like a, I don't know, that I was doing jujitsu in my off time or something, something to explain it.
I wonder what he thinks that she does during the day, because she is out of the house like longer than he is, and he is high up in Her Majesty's government, or his.
Yes, his
So, His Majesty's.
or theirs.
Or theirs. We don't know. He hasn't come out with his pronouns. They
We
haven't
don't
come out
know.
with their pronouns.
Hmm. Thank you. Uh, yeah, it's she is definitely a very busy woman who uses the "I was buying Christmas presents" excuse way too much, to
At
the
least three
point where I feel
times.
like that more than anything she does, she clues him into what she might be. But yeah, it's a great character. Great. She gets to be so snippy and chippy and smart, and she gets to make bad choices in the best way. And the fact that her and Mrs. Reed have this incredibly tense, like way more tense than Bond and M, in terms of their relationship. Like there's a real sense that they might that one of them might kill the other, and
Hmm.
that you don't know. It's like 60-40 that Mrs. Reed would come out on top, except that this is Helen's story, so that switches it back more to a 50-50, maybe. But yeah, great, great. Every conversation between those two is so good, so rich and just mean.
Yeah, yeah, meaty and palpable, that tension between them. It's really great stuff. I really want to talk about my favorite two women, which,
Hmm.
and I think you might agree with me, has to be Williams and Eleanor, the two hired assassins that, well, Williams tries to kill Helen, but then Sam hires Williams, who's hired Eleanor as her partner, and Eleanor and
Yes.
Williams may have or do have a romantic tension between them. It's a little complicated. I love it.
Yeah, Williams is introduced with her partner Kent. And it's very obvious to me that Williams and Kent is a Wint and Kid reference.
Hmm.
That they are a lesbian assassin pair. There's no way Joe Barton wasn't being deliberate. And then Kent gets killed immediately and is replaced by Eleanor, and is replaced maybe, as you say, in every sense, both romantically and professionally. These are very sanguine women who accept that death is their lot. It is both what they reap and what they sow. And yeah, they're really fun characters. They are very Winton Kid-esque without the touching, I guess. And they all have thick regional accents, all of these lady assassins. So
My
love
God,
that
I
for them.
just love Gabrielle Creevy's accent. That's the one who plays Eleanor. And she talks a mile a minute. She has two of my favorite lines. Literally a car full of assassins trying to find the moral high ground. And she's like a tiny little doll, a little junky Barbie. It's just incredible delivery, incredible scenes in the show proper. I love her.
Yeah, we love Welsh women who hit really hard. Is what we're learning between this and Slow Horses.
And Shirley Bassey.
And Shirley Bassey and my mum. I mean, when
And
you
your
get down
mom.
to it.
Yeah.
But I will say, my favorite woman in the show, even after we've named all these favorite women, Catherine Hunter as Lenny. Oh my God,
Oh,
that is
oh my God.
one of the best like gangster characters. She's the one where when she's in a room with someone, you're like, I don't know who's going to walk away from this. We can talk about Tracy Ullman, who is playing a version of the same character in a way, just sort of a more
Yeah.
upmarket version of the Godfather character. Catherine Hunter's Lenny is much more working class, much more down in the muck, but she's the one that comes out alive from the season,
Hmm.
which I didn't remember. I actually thought she died when I was trying to remember back on the show. I thought Lenny died, and she doesn't. Maybe it was just, or am I losing my mind? Did she die and I didn't notice?
No, she didn't die. There is the threat of violence against her in
Yeah,
this, like, the second to last scene. And I think that her and Sam agree to working together, even though he's been hired by the boy that he was supposed to have killed 8 years ago.
yeah, yeah. And I don't think Lenny would die off screen.
No, no,
But
that's going to be on
but
screen for sure.
the threat of violence against her is nothing compared to the threat of violence against anyone in a room with her. I just think, I mean, Catherine
Hmm.
Hunter is one of those great theatre actors. She played the witches in the Joel Cohen version of the Scottish play, shall we say. And yeah, she really gets to enjoy herself playing this just really like shrewish, mean but brilliant and caustic woman. And I hope she'll be
Oh,
back next season. I'm sure she'll be back.
I am sure her and her 12 pack a day cigarette voice, that was, I mean, that's my favorite character aspect of her.
She's very London, very authentic.
Yeah, she reminds me of home.
And by the way, this is a show in which at one point I noticed there was a scene with 5 different women in a room, one gay man in the room. One of the women admittedly is unconscious and will only wake up with a scream when some of the other women have left. But yeah, like this is a movie that's like there are women dominating every scene, every exchange. To have a scene with that many people in it and none of them is a straight man, wow. Just what a treat. What a
Yeah.
joy that is to have. And to have them sniping back and forth and getting all these delicious lines. My favorite being Williams saying to Helen, um, "You remember me, we met before." And she says, "I remember there were 2 of you." Sharp. Delightful.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah, and I know, like, the Bechdel test is not the arbiter of how progressive a thing is anymore, but like
No.
these women, this gay man, they get to talk about the same things that straight people do in these action films and these
Yeah.
action shows. It's never like, it doesn't feel out of place. It's so organic, and these people feel right at home in these roles. And you and I have talked about on our old podcast together before that, like, the spy world is made up of a bunch of freaks and psychos and queer people and people who've been left on the sidelines of society. And this show is where it feels like we're finally getting that right. It's so nice to see. It's nice to feel represented.
To be seen as a freak. Tracy Ullman was a great surprise the first time we watched this. She's only really in the one episode. Her voice, I think, is in the episode before.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that even the sort of the secret hand behind it all is another powerful woman who it seems very believably would be impossible to cross, but she does successfully get crossed and there will be consequences, but still. A great little role from Tracy Ullman, who we do not get to see in this kind of piece these days.
Yeah, she's not wearing like some kind of face obscuring getup, and she's not
Yeah.
doing like some, I don't know, weird character. She's just getting to be Tracy Ullman. That was also really appreciated.
Shall we move to the boys now?
Yeah, we should. We absolutely should. Are we going to start with the big boy, the main boy?
Big boy. Yeah, let's talk about Ben Whishaw because we do love Ben Whishaw. We loved him as Q. God, I hate the fact that saying we love, don't we, guys? It feels suddenly Trumpian. Oh, we love Ben Whishaw, don't we?
We love Ben Whishaw.
I appreciate Ben Whishaw, and I know that you do as well.
Yes.
He's an excellent Q, but our one note for him as Q is, he doesn't get to go out in the field. Like, he doesn't really get to be as active, even as Desmond Llewellyn towards the end of his tenure. Well,
Hmm.
no, towards the middle of his tenure. Towards the end of his tenure, he was not going anywhere. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen more Ben Whishaw in the field. But this gives us Ben Whishaw in the field. And he's not technically playing a spy, he's playing an assassin, a mercenary. But he's still giving us that sort of as I've said many times before on this podcast, he's giving us LGBTQ, and I love
Ayo.
that for us and for him.
Yeah, he's the moody, sexy, complicated queer assassin that we need and we deserve. And he's
Yes,
so wispy, like he's just so slight on screen. And every time he's in profile, I worry that he's going to get swallowed up by the scene. But he stands so tall in it still, and he is such a presence in this show. He's also a bit of a dark cloud, which is a little bit attractive. I love watching him in this. I will say my least favorite part of this show, the first time I watched it and this time I watched it, is his love interest. I'm sorry to this man, Omari Douglas as Michael. I think he's beautiful and he's so grounded in reality that I find him terrible.
you're ruining it. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I kind of want more of, like, there's a scene in the first episode, I think, where Sam just has the confidence to pull a tall Irishman in a regular hotel bar. Like, it's not a gay bar, it's just a hotel bar at Christmas, and he pulls this gorgeous tall man who I don't even know if he identified as gay. That man
It wasn't
lures
very
him up to his
clear.
hotel room. No. And like, my God, to have that ability. And I would have loved to have had a bit more slutty Sam, honestly, would have been fun for me. Yeah, the boyfriend has a kid as well. It's so like, that we're going for this normie bullshit. Okay, all right,
Right?
fine.
Are you
It's
are you
not
going to give
everyone's
up your
dream.
exciting, cool life to be like, I don't know, a homemaker? Because you're not going to have any other skills, let me tell you.
Yeah. And honestly, the answer is no. Like, the
No.
character of Sam is a sin eater. He goes around devouring other people's crimes and other people's pain, and marching on through life carrying that burden with him. So the idea that he's ever going to be happy with domestic life, no, that's not going to work for him. It works for Helen to an extent, but I don't see it ever being a thing that works for Sam.
No. All of this is to say, Omari Douglas does a great job. He's really like he's very sweet, he's very believable. He's incredibly sexy. It's just that this storyline in this show for me, that is like for some reason the disconnect. I want to see Ben Whishaw as the Bond, like you said, a bit more
Right.
of a free agent who gets to do as he pleases instead of having him locked in like the third sad story that this man has going on. You know, he's a hired assassin. That's pretty sad. And
Yep.
also, huge spoiler alert, he had to kill his own father, who was also a hired assassin. That's pretty sad.
Yep.
And also, he got his boyfriend involved in this world when that was the last thing he wanted, and he runs into him again at random. Yeah, it's like, it's all too sad. Give the kid a break. Let him just have some sex without having to worry about it and feel good about himself for doing it.
He doesn't even get to finish with that hot Irishman as well. I
Oh,
mean, honestly.
God,
Um,
honestly, so
but
sad.
yes, Ben Whishaw, phenomenal in the role, and as you said, very wispy but very steely when he needs to be. And there's that incredible
Hmm.
scene where the killers come for him when he's with his ex, and or when his ex is not his ex, shall we say?
Right.
When they were still together, and he has to get him out of the building, and down this emergency rickety staircase, very slow horses,
Very slow
and
horses.
yeah, it's a great action scene where Amara Douglas's character is just sort of disassociating in the moment, and it's like, how could Ben Whishaw, who is a cocktail stick, how could he possibly provide cover for this other man as they're going? He makes it make sense because
It works.
he's like a cat, just sort of his whiskers are up and his back is up, and he is reacting.
Ben Whishaw as a cat. That's the hiring choice, the casting choice that we need. Let's move on to some other men. I was happy to be reminded that Papa Essiedu is in this for one episode as Elmore
Yes,
Fitch, the assassin who takes out Helen's boyfriend, not her husband, but her boyfriend. And he is another beautiful, beautiful man who I wish had a
yes.
little bit more to do in this show, but also, I guess that's what a cameo is for. And it reminded me, like, oh, I can't wait to see what kind of cameos we have in season 2.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how Joe Barton is calling in these favors, but he gets amazing people in to do one scene or one episode. In this case, he's worked with Papa Essiedu on the Lazarus Project, so that was probably the easiest call to make.
Right. There's also Luther Ford as Hector Newman. Now, I
Yes.
haven't seen The Crown, but I am aware that he played Prince Harry. And I get it. He's a gorgeous ginger who is convincingly evil.
Well, I mean, gingers don't have souls.
Yeah, exactly. It's an easy bridge to cross.
But gingers can be very hot, and Luther Ford is very hot and very evil, and I enjoy him enormously. Nathan Stewart Jarrett as one of the gay friends, I always love seeing in anything he does. He was in the National Theatre production of Angels in America, playing the Angel Belize. He is always playing queer roles. Has never spoken publicly about how he identifies. But again, speculation is celebration, and I'm happy to count him as an actor who always plays gay roles. Um,
Fair, fair.
and
I've
yeah,
never seen Angels in America, not the play, not the adaptation. It is a huge blind spot for me.
I don't know if you can still watch the National Theatre version anywhere. I watched it on a movie screen. It was one of
Oh,
those, National Theatre, when they were doing theatre on the big screen stuff. I don't know if they still even do that, but it
you
was
mean
the
the
Russell Tovey,
pandemic?
Andrew Garfield. No,
Ah,
but I feel like that led to more of it being done,
okay,
and
yeah.
it's the production where Andrew Garfield and Russell Tovey are the leads, and Nathan Stewart Jarrett is the nurse Belize who may or may not be an angel. It's
Huh.
a good play. It's just 3.5 days long, so
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that's kept me from seeing it. My attention span is not great.
even split into two parts.
Any other men that you want to talk about?
Well, there are the two Andrews, the two lovers of Helen's character. Andrew Buchan, who, as I
Ah,
mentioned, I've had a crush on for many years and am always happy to see in anything. And Andrew Koji, who sadly is not in the show for very long, but appears in flashbacks throughout. And they are both very dashing leading men who I'm happy to see.
Andrew Koji is apparently a martial artist, and it feels like such
Yes.
a waste that he doesn't get to do any of that in this. Like, quite the opposite. He is a newspaper man, kind of.
But nice for him that he gets to play a role where he doesn't really have to do anything except fall down dead, you know?
Fair, fair. That must have been refreshing for him. Yeah, he's very beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous eyes, very toned body. It is nice that we get to see a lot of him in the flashbacks.
Yes.
Uh, let's talk about the music, though. I think there are some great needle drops
In
and
the drunk
diegetic moments.
tank,
But
an old
yeah,
man said
it
to
seems like
me,
that
"Here
is
comes
the
another
theme
one."
song of the show.
It's the first song we hear. It's one of the last songs we hear. I mean, it's a great, like, ridiculous Christmas standard, and it really sets the tone for this show because it's a raucous pub performance of Fairy Tale of New York,
Yeah.
the most grungy of the Christmas standards. And that's where we are.
hmm
We're in a grungy Christmas.
Yep, that's right. And we're getting mostly Christmas hits throughout this of varying quality and from many, many genres. I mean, I heard some Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby. There's a little Vince Guaraldi in there.
Yeah.
We have more recent things, which I can't recall off the top of my head. But yeah, it's just A lot of Christmas. A lot of Christmas.
Like everything shy of maybe Christmas wrapping by the waitresses, or was that in there as well and I just forgot? I don't know. There's
I mean,
like,
that would have been great for Williams and Eleanor, honestly.
oh, that would have been great. That would have been great. They have to save something for next season, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But
The
yes,
theme.
whether or not you like this music depends on whether or not you like Christmas music ultimately, because I don't even think I noticed any other music in the show.
So there's like a theme ditty. I'm not going to call it a song. It is just like the 10-second musical sting that plays over the word Black Doves anytime it appears. And because it's Netflix, sometimes the title card is about 30 minutes into a 50-minute episode. And that sting just reminds me of every spy TV sting that we've had in the last few years, particularly the ones that you and I have watched, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith and whatever that Amazon Prime one was that didn't get picked up. What was it
We
with?
do not honor it with a name.
Right, okay. You know the one. But yeah, it's just like a bunch of strings and some bass, and it swells, and then we go back into the action. So there's no theme music.
No.
The fashion, another short category for me, because I just said it's very streetwear and cozy core forward, isn't it? It is Christmas in London after all.
Yes, it gets very cold. It gets cold in London in ways that just don't seem normal. They don't seem natural. Scarves and layers, and everyone looks very comfy. And there is one of my favorite fight scenes in the movie is when Helen and her replacement are fighting almost to the
Oh,
death in a jewelry store. And one of them is wearing a sweater and the other is wearing a cardigan. It's like girl fight, sweater, cardigan. Love that. Love that. But yes, not
how are those
otherwise a
tiny
movie
little
that is.
switchblades going to cut through all those layers?
Yeah, this is Aaron Wall. I mean, come on now. That's virtually bulletproof. Yeah, it's great, but also not fashion.
hmm Yeah. Sarah Lancashire has like the most glamorous apartment in the series. It's all white marble, and it's this beautiful like wall to wall window overlooking the Thames,
Yes.
but it is all white. There's no character in there, which says so much about the character of Mrs. Reed. Is like she doesn't have time to decorate.
Yeah, and a lot of the other locations are just sort of gross and grungy and dingy and like
A lot of
yeah, it's
apartments.
like a lot of apartments, a lot of stuff that just doesn't register because it just looks like England at Christmas time.
Yeah,
And then, where it does stand out, it is things like that. I mean, that Chinese restaurant is beautiful. We go back
absolutely.
there a few times, and that's a really lovely location. But nothing
I'm
much
also
else stands out. The nightclub?
well, I like Lenny's hideout, whatever.
Yes.
It's another restaurant, but I'm not sure what kind of restaurant. Or is it a bingo hall? I couldn't really place it.
Yeah, it could be many things. Basically anything below a certain level of income looks like it's underneath a railway arch in this show.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that is definitely true of Lenny. She's a person of the railway arches.
You did mention the nightclub, which
Yeah.
I loved. Loved that scene. Such an amazing fight scene with a bunch of queer people storming the lair, essentially. And I all I could think of was like the papers the next day and the reaction from the queer community being like, they shot up GAY? Are you kidding me? Where are we gonna go on Christmas Eve?
Yeah. I mean, GAY even was a little classier than that, to be honest. But was underneath a railway arch, so what am I saying? When I went there, it was under a railway arch. I think then it like moved. Yeah, not a lot else to say about the fashion, but we are segueing into the queerness organically here, I think.
I would say, I mean, look, gay assassins having gay sex, that's pretty queer.
That's pretty queer. All assassins are gay, maybe? That seems to be a vibe. I mean, I
hmm
guess we don't
hmm
know if Elmore Fitch is gay, but we can hope. We can dream. That's the Papa Asiedu character. His story has yet to be told.
And it might be a little
The
late for that.
nightclub shootout. Yes, the nightclub shootout is
Yeah.
a great pièce de résistance scene, and of course, a glitter ball gets shot from the ceiling and crashes to the floor. Very Dua Lipa, very queer coded.
I also wrote here mothers with guns. Like, what gay child doesn't want to be protected by their mommy with a big ol' couple guns, you know?
That was very okay. Psychosexual. Of course, yes, the lesbian assassins are great. They have great moments, great dialogue, and there are basically three of them in this show. It's just one of them dies, and the others get
Mhm.
beaten up, but only in the way that everyone gets beaten up. Like this is
Right.
a show that passes the queer people are not treated worse than everyone else trope, and there are many, many queer people in this show.
And everyone gets treated pretty terribly. So yeah, that
Pretty
works.
terribly.
Yeah.
And straight men are ultimately, though there are very few of them, they're ultimately the cause of most of the problems in this show. So, that's true.
And in life.
Yes. But most of all, Ben Whishaw playing a gay man who is willing to kill for the sake of the love of his life and willing to leave the love of his life for the sake of that person's continued existence rather than letting him die. That's the center of the movie, on top of which we get real sex. I mean, sex that looks real. I don't think it's actually real
Mm.
sex happening, but like the sex scenes look like gay sex. The tenderness between the male characters, between the lovers, felt very authentic and real to me. This is absolutely, if you're looking for queer representation, this show does not falter in any way.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible that it took until 2024 to feel like we were finally getting what we've been asking for. And now, as you said, it is happening more and more often, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say about Black Doves?
Mm, I just want to know who would win in a fight between Taverner and Reed.
Ooh. Ah, I feel like Reed would win, but Taverner would probably have the resources to let the world know that she won.
Interesting, interesting. Yeah, it would be a lot of fun either way.
One of my favorite lines from Lenny Lyons, Goddess, "Close the door, you're letting all the cockroaches out."
Excellent, Lenny. Excellent, excellent,
Thank
Lenny.
you. Thank you. I've been practicing for years.
She, she's basically like one of like the creepier Muppets. Like that sort of weird, twisty, dark one, the sort of blue one. She reminds me
The
of
one that
him.
haunts my dreams at night?
That's the one. That's a
Gonzo?
dark Gonzo. Beyond that, I have nothing more to add. What about you, Shane?
No, that's it from me. What a great, great show. Let's score this thing up. What would you give this is our scorecard segment. We're going to give the show a score from 0 to 5. And then we award it bonus points based on the categories that we just discussed: the women, the boys, the music, the fashion, and the queerness, for a total score out of 10, which reflects more how queer it is than how good it is.
It's a scoreboard of two halves.
Yeah.
So to kick things off, out of 5, it's close to a 5, but I think it's bubbling under for me. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. I like it a lot. It's not my favorite thing, but I recommend it. I would recommend anyone to check it out.
I am in total agreement. It's a fun watch. It's a little long. There's a couple things that don't really gel as much as I want them to, but on the whole, it's a fantastic piece.
How can it not get the point? I mean, we've just said, like, there are so many female characters in this show and not a dud among them, except I guess maybe the woman that Helen goes to talk to at the American Embassy, who is the most boring woman ever to walk the earth. But apart from that, 5 stars across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. There are other women in this show, a few of them. The one who we didn't really talk about was the new girlfriend, or the new assistant slash possible
Yeah.
girlfriend slash other Black Dove agent. Dina, I think her name is. Incredible. Just to round it all out, all of the women are fantastic. And then the boys, I mean, you kind of have to give it to Ben Whishaw, right?
It depends on how we're scoring, honestly. Like, is it about the eye candy or is it about the male characters? Yes, Ben Whishaw is great. This isn't a show that has a standout crush for me, unfortunately.
That's fair. That's fair. And yeah, he's not very sexy, Joe.
I mean, there are certainly people that it's going to work for, and he is sexual in this show, and I love that. And that will be reflected elsewhere in the score. For boys, though, I'm giving it a 0. But it was a close thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you though. I like his character, but I'm not into him.
And we must stay true to
Uh,
who we are, which is
that's
shallow
true.
bitches.
The music, for me, it's not gonna get the point.
It's really hard to give Fairy Tale of New York, sung by a bunch of drunks, the music point. So yeah, it's a pass.
And then there's the fashion. Oh no, I'm worried for this because it is barely gonna pass our test. But I can't possibly give it a fashion point because it is not fashionable.
It is not the least bit fashionable, but it is abundantly queer. And that's where we I think have to give it a point. So yeah, it's scoring a little under where it could be, but we're looking for glamour, and this is another anti-glamour show like Slow Horses, where it just falls down a little bit. But where Slow Horses also falls down is on the queerness, and this show has queerness in spades. So
Yes, this is very true. If you're looking for a queer, slow horses, this is it for you. And, you know, I have high hopes for season 2. I kind of think that it was just starting to get into its stride in the last couple episodes of season 1, and I'm very excited to see what they do next.
it could be even more complicated because there are so many pieces on the board still standing at the end of season 1. But it's going to be a good time. I'm pretty confident of that.
Oh, absolutely. So our final score is 6 out of 10. Not bad. Very watchable, and it's available on Netflix, which almost everyone has, so go and check it out.
Yeah, great Christmas watch for when you're sick of Christmas but can still stand to listen to the music.
Well, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like by clicking that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel by clicking that subscribe button. And as
Hey,
always, thank you for watching. Kiss, kiss.
bang bang.
If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to this channel. You can follow Kiss Kiss Bang Bang on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd at KKBBpod, or email us at kisskissbangbangpod@gmail.com.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is recorded in Toronto on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabeg, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples.